Okay, so recap of my loss today. So basically, today I took a break even and a loss, and that loss, obviously because of how much I risk on evaluations, ends up blowing the account, which is not a big deal because that's the risk I take by doing that. But anyways, down to the technicals of the day. What was I looking at going in to market open? Same thing, we're coming out of this daily fair value gap that we were discussing yesterday. And we're displacing heavily lower and creating bearish 4-hour fair value gaps, disrespecting bullish fair value gaps, and creating these bearish ones, not necessarily respecting them just as of yet. So these 4-hour fair value gaps were left unmitigated prior to market open. So ideally what I actually wanted to see was a retracement into these, perhaps hitting EQ of this range as well, which would have been nice, but not completely warranted to take it lower. So realistically, again, this is quite far to go, so I can see how it wouldn't hit this 4-hour, but ideally, you get your structure, blah, blah, blah. You take a trade lower. That's what I was kind of looking for. So we moved down. We also had this 2-hour fair value gap. This was more ideally what I was going to take. This one was basically my only condition really, other than taking perhaps a continuation prior to open, just to market opens, manipulates up, you get in line with the PO3 down to the monthly fair value gap, which is obviously a big thing that I haven't mentioned yet. We have a monthly fair value gap right here, completely edge it prior to basically overnight. And yeah, so that's a pretty obvious DOL for me. So yeah, off the 2-hour is basically as simple as it gets, what I was looking for. Hourly, we didn't have anything, just, again, some low resistance up at the highs, low resistance at the lows. So this is exactly why I want the open to open high, sweep out these low resistance highs that would be at your stop loss if you were to take anything here, and take it to the lows down here, which is low resistance just before the monthly fair value gap. Obviously this hit didn't happen, so I was trying to be reactive. And also before open I was looking at this unmitigated 15-minute, but obviously that did get mitigated straight away just before open, so that was a little bit unfortunate. So as I'll just replay what happened at open. So again, with all my scenarios in mind, it's mostly just bearish scenarios, and ideally really it's going to hit this 2-hour ideally for me, or we take a continuation towards the monthly fair value gap that is right here. Sorry, I'm moving around this a bit too much for you, which I noticed in the last video. But anyways, again, there's a lot of slanted highs up here, so but again, the drawn liquidity is so good, so I can see how you would take some sort of short to the monthly. It's just, for me, it's very difficult to get involved. So on open, we manipulate higher, go lower, but again, this is not a manipulation personally from my experience as, being more of a beginner, more trading mechanically, that I would want to get involved in, because, the first 30-minute candle is obviously manipulating higher, but was manipulating into really just lower time frame fair value gaps. Let's see, 2 minutes, a 3-minute there actually. You could probably argue for it, as this high here is an SMT with ES in a 4-hour fair value gap. But for me, it's just not something I'd be comfortable taking. Maybe I should look into it, but I think in general it's probably going to do more harm than good looking for setups like this. So we go lower, and where do we, is it here, I think, where we get the 4 minute, yes. So basically here there was a 15 minute inversion. I'm just going to move this out of the way for just 2 seconds. So right here we manipulate up into this 4 minutes. So the reason I was happy to look at taking this 4 minute continuation is just because of how bearish we are, how obvious the drawn liquidity is. So yeah, we get our inversion somewhere in here, 15 second, I believe. And basically, as you can see, I hesitated the fuck out of pulling the trigger, and I ended up just taking it way down here, and I just went break even the second we hit the monthly fair value gap, and I was aiming for a 1-to-1. So I just put this on randomly post the trade, just to kind of give a gauge of what the trade I did take. But I just got break even, and it just tanked lower after as well. So a little bit unfortunate. Again, we're hitting a monthly fair value gap. I mean, it's pretty much a good reason to go break even, I would say. Just really terrible. Like, realistically, I should have had, say, a fill up here, get a 1-to-1 somewhere here. So that hesitation is definitely something to look at. But overall, I think with how strong the drawn liquidity was, ES was hitting a 4 minute as well. I think this is a good trade. Just hesitated badly on it. So that's my break-even trade. Now to the loss, which obviously blew the account. So obviously my thinking was, first of all, we created this 15 minute fair value gap, which I was ideally wanting a continuation off of. Just simple, playing the moments of a key level, which is the monthly key level, that first of all, I'm not expecting it to distribute off of the monthly fair value gap immediately. More than likely, we're going to get a stop hunt. So I was just thinking about, if it goes higher and we generate some clean lows, we'd manipulate up into the 15 minute fair value gap and get some sort of setup. We could take it to those lows as kind of playing one of the first stop hunts within this key level. Plus, it's also lower time frame, and we've been bearish, hugely bearish. So that would be a good trade idea. However, I didn't take this. Again, I would say this is a very forced trade. It's not bad, but so my thinking was, again, agreed upon drawn liquidity, except this time we do get some sort of generated liquidity leading up to it. And where was my entry? So we get a stop hunt here, which is also an SMT with ES. And there was no inversion for me per se. This is just the CISD entry. I liked the displacement. That's really the reason I took it, is I liked the displacement of it. Low resistance towards the 15. But again, hesitation again, probably just after the break even, how bearish we are. I didn't take this immediately here. I waited a little bit, because it was, once I was entering, this was obviously rejecting. So again, I was a bit of maybe fear entering. I didn't like it going down while I was entering. So I entered probably when this was displacing, so it was a little higher. So my 1-to-1 had to be up here. Well, wherever it is, it didn't hit TP anyways. But so the trade is playing out. I don't think it's too bad. And we go higher. And my idea of break even here was probably more to do with ES than NASDAQ, but it was going to be whichever one hit the 15 minute first. If NASDAQ hit the 15 minute, I would have gone break even. If ES did, I would have gone break even as well. So now what's interesting is you can see it even in the live recording. ES creates complete equal highs with its respective 15-minute, which I was targeting. So you could see me like panicking, like thinking, did that hit it? Did that not? And I never went break even. And of course, I take the full loss. So again, could you say statistical loss? Probably not. It's not the best trade. It's not the worst trade. Again, then after this, the idea does end up playing out further, just for further learning. We've definite generated liquidity here, and these are obviously equal highs on ES. So let's presume, what kind of fair value gap do we have down here? We get a 2-minute. That's a healthy close. Generate liquidity, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Would have taken a while, but agreed upon DOL gets hit with this inversion. So that's really my view on today. Obviously my account's blown, but am I that disappointed? I mean, it's never a nice feeling. But for me, I executed okay. I think there's still a lot of improvement because, again, I'm taking a CISD entry after how bearish we've been for the last 2 days. Again, I'm trying to call a bottom. That's 2 days in a row I've done that. Again, you can make a lot of arguments for the trades that I've taken, but again, I feel like I need to stop making arguments towards trades and just start thinking more probabilistically instead of just wondering if they're mechanically valid, because in the long run that's probably going to harm my trading. I think I need to tilt towards more obvious trades again, because like this is a CISD entry, not an inversion. And again, I know that inversions are just the entry trigger, but at the same time, like if there's fair value gaps not being created, like what's that saying about price? Again, I'm aiming for agreed upon DOLs, which are kind of in falling knife structures. So again, they're just not as high probability. Again, I'd probably be better off just fading the day, like accepting the fact that I didn't catch any of this move, instead of trying to chase some sort of retracement, which is always going to be lower probability. So again, other than that, can't be too mad. Gonna have to cop myself a fresh account, use somebody's discount code, and enter a giveaway, because that seems to be what the trading space has come to these days. But that's fine, there's discounts, so I'll take them. If there's anything you want to add to my videos, just feedback on my trades, etc., like, I'm more than happy to hear it. I always learn better when someone, explains things to me. But again, this is really just journaling for me, because I feel like my journals haven't been as in depth, and this is just an easy way of kind of keeping myself accountable, but also just having a lot of subjective and discretional information in one place, and I can always go back and review it, and hopefully somewhere along the way I improve a good bit, and I can be like, wow, like, look how far I've come. That's the goal of this anyways. Thank you, guys.